Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to implement basic calculator in C++. So given a string which represents an expression, evaluate this expression and return its value. Suppose that we have this string as an input. The function should return the value of the expression, which is 10 plus 2 multiplied by 3. So the function should return an integer value which equal 16. Notice that the string can contain any operator, plus, multiplication, division, or minus, and can contain spaces, and in addition to integer values. So how can we do that? Assume that this is our string, or the input, and first of all we have to define two stacks. The first stack is value stacks, which will contain the integer value in the expression and the results of evaluating the expression while parsing the string. And the second stack is the operator stack. This operator stacks will contain the operators in the string. First of all, we will start to put the pointer that points to the beginning of the string. Then we parse the integer value. This piece of code will parse the integer value and return 10. After we parse any integer value, we push it to the value stack. So the value stack contains 10 now. Then we move the pointer to the space. The space, we ignore it. As you can see here, we ignore the space. Then we have the plus operator. The plus operator, we ask if the operator stack contains in its top an operator with precedence higher than the plus. The answer is no. In this case, we just push the plus operator into the operator stack. So after this, the value stack contains 10, the operator stack contains plus, and our pointer is at plus. Then we move the pointer into the two integer. We parse the two and we push it to the value stack. Then we have the multiplication operator. Again, we ask if the top of the stack has operator greater or equal than the current operator pointed by the pointer. The answer is no, because multiplication has higher precedence than plus. In this case, we just push the multiplication into the top of the operator stack. Then we move the pointer to the integer 6. We push 6 into the value stack. Then we have the division operator. Again, we ask if the top of the operator stack, which is the multiplication, has precedence greater or equal to division. The answer is yes. In that case, we pop the multiplication or the top of the operator stack, and we pop the last or the top two values from the value stacks. In this case, 2 is the first value and 6 is the second value, and we push to the value stack the results of this expression, which is 12. Notice that do operation will do the calculation of 2 multiplied by 6 and push it back to the value stack. Then we move our Okay, after the we pop the multiplication, we keep asking if the top of the stack is has higher or equal precedence with the current one, which is the division. The answer is no, because we have only plus remains in the operator stacks. In that case, we push the division into the operator stack. Then we move the pointer to the next value, which is 2, and we push the 2 to the stack. Then we have the multiplication operator. Multiplication, do we have the top of the operator stack, is it equal or greater than the multiplication? The answer is yes, because the division has the same precedence as the multiplication. In that case, we pop the division from the operator stack, and we pop the last two values from the value stacks. The first value is 12, the second value is 2. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Then using this function, then we push this 6 back to the values stack. So the operator stacks now contain only the plus value, because we popped the division. We have the same question, like is the top of the operator stack has higher precedence than the multiplication? The answer is no. Then we push this multiplication into the top of the stack. This is our pointer, and this is where we are now. Then we move the pointer to 3, so we push the 3 into the stack, the value stack. Then we move the pointer to plus. Plus has less precedence, yeah, so the top of the stack, which is multiplication, has higher precedence than plus. In this case, we pop from the operator stacks again, multiplication, and we pop the last two numbers from the value stack. The first one is 6, the second one is 3, and we push back the answer, which is 18. And so the operator stack has now only plus, and we ask the same question: is the plus has higher, or this plus has higher or equal precedence of the current pointer, which is a plus? The question is yes. Then we pop again this plus, and we pop the last two values from the stack, 18 and 10. 10 plus 18, we push to the value stack the result, which is 28. The operator stack now is empty, so we just push the current operator, which is plus. Now the value stacks has 28, the operator stack has plus. We move the pointer to the last digit, or to the last integer, which is 1. We just push this one into the value stack. So our main loop finished. We have at the end another loop. This loop will continue while the operator stack is not empty. In this case, we have the plus, so we pop the plus, and we pop the last two values from the value stack, which is 28 and 1, and we push back to the result, which is 29. The operator stack is empty, so we return the top of values stack, which is 29. This is the results of our expression. Again, this is the same code we saw in the previous slide. Again, this is a pointer. This is for loop that iterates over the string. Here we define the two stacks. If the current value of the character in the string is space, we just skip it, and if it's number, we try to extract the whole character into characters into an integer, and otherwise we need to check if the stack has higher precedence than the current. If that's the case, then do the calculation, like to pop the last two elements. As you can see, do operation implementation here. So it pops the operator from the operator stacks. It takes the value from the top of the stack, then the second value, and it do the calculation. Calculation is simple, just to multiplication or division or plus or minus based on the operators value, and this is function that just return the precedence of the operator. If it's division or multiplication, return 1. Otherwise return 0 for plus and minus. This function just return the change or convert the character, or return the integer value of the character. So if we have the value character 8, it should return 8. We can do this by casting the value of the character A and do subtraction with the integer value of character 0, because the character from 0 to 9 are in sequence now implementing the ASCII. So the difference between them is the integer value, and this is just helper function that check if the character is a number or not. And that's all. So here we have example in the main function. This is our previous string, and the result, as you can see here, is 29, and for this expression is 17. Time complexity of this is big O of n, because we are passing one time over the string. The space complexity of this is the stack, two stacks, which is 2 multiply n, and the final result is big O of n. This is the time complexity, and this is the space complexity. And that's all. Thank you for watching.